Abolish the Senate.
True.
Okay. Replace the presidency and Supreme Court as we now know them.
Yep.
Abolish ICE.
Absolutely.
National co-chair Megan Romer, co-chair of the Democratic Socialists of America, had a viral moment in a Fox News interview on Sunday. She was asked about some of the organization's more controversial stances, and she affirmed each of them as being truly part of the platform. Here was the rest of that exchange.
Abolish borders and give amnesty to anyone currently in the U.S. illegally.
As a long-term plan, yep.
Defund the Pentagon.
Absolutely.
Abolish prisons, at least in large part.
Yeah, again, that as part of a long-term program, yeah.
Okay, so no prisons. Government or public ownership of most large corporations.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, Republicans were, of course, a little bit interested in the clip, and even some Democrats, like Senator John Fetterman, joined in criticizing it. He wrote an X, "This isn't a big tent, it's anarchy. Why can't Dems call out the DSA?" And let me stop you before you even go, because I know what you're going to say, oh, but socialism is just, giving child care or something, or just fixing potholes or something. That is the leader of the Democratic Socialists of America, and she has said whenever Fox News gets someone who actually runs the DSA on camera to say what the actual policy goals are. And these aren't even the policy goals relating to, being on the side of terrorists or whatever. This is just domestic economic policies and political
Take that out of your
structuring.
speech. Nobody's on the side of terrorists. Stop.
Well, these people are, but this wasn't even about that, so we don't need to get into it. Okay, government ownership of the corporations, just government's going to run them all. We're going to abolish prisons, ICE, borders, amnesty for absolutely everyone. We're doing wholesale restructuring of our politics, so Supreme Court, Senate, presidency, gone in their current manifestation. This is a deeply, deeply radical program to replace the United States with some other kind of country, basically. And I've been saying for weeks that this is a radical agenda. This is not just a little bit more welfare or a little bit more regulation or whatever. That's just normal things Democrats want to do. I disagree with them, whatever. This is radical transformation. I mean, where do you want to start? Each of these ideas is so stupid. Look, even if you want fewer people in prison or you want to change sentencing guidelines or something, we will have prisons because in every society in all of human history, including, by the way, socialist and communist societies where they imprison people at a very high rate in existing socialist, communist countries, people just don't run around committing crimes and there's no penalty. No, you're actually sent to jail for disagreeing with the government frequently in actually existing socialist authoritarian countries. Anyway, some people in society will commit crimes, violence, domestic abuse, theft, whatever, and they're going to go to prison. We want it to be not a lot of people, but there's no society that's ever existed that has completely eliminated man's capacity for violence. So we will have some prisons. We have to have some board, or it's just not a country anymore. I mean, and I'm more friendly to immigration than a lot of people on the right, but you have to have a border, or it's not this isn't. Anything to add to my little?
What do you want me to say? I hated to see this.
Yeah.
I hated to see this.
Yeah.
I think that what I've been defending is the democratic socialism that I've seen in practice and how that gets implemented in a government like New York City specifically, and how you work alongside people that are more centrist, that are in the Democratic Party, and also Republicans, to get legislation passed. And so when
you don't think Zoran wants to do every word of this?
No, he specifically said he doesn't want to abolish the police. He specifically said, so I think that there are, well, he said that. So in leadership, you can say one thing, your party or whoever,
I know
can
what's
say
in
one
his
thing.
heart.
You don't know his heart.
I do
You don't
know
know
what's
that
in his
man.
heart.
So let
I
me just
know
say,
exactly.
I look at what's happening in practice and I say, okay, the strategies that are constantly being criticized by Mamdani are things that I think are actually helping the community. We'll see long term about how much they deeply benefit. But when I see that childcare is opening up next month for a lot of young kids that otherwise couldn't afford it, their parents couldn't afford it, I'm like, okay, that's a good thing. When I see that tenants don't have to live in crap conditions, places that have had holes in the walls, water leaking, animals running through their house like rats, you think, okay, great, this is a good thing for people that just want to have a decent and some type of respect for their life.
Should the
You know, when
government
they-
nationalize Google?
No, I thought, and also Mamdani, like I say with the grocery store, the government is owning a grocery store, but there are lots of bodegas and other competing grocery stores that will still exist, and people can have the option to still go to Whole Foods and get their exact food that they're looking for, or they can go to the
She wants the government to nationalize Costco.
Yes, she went way further than I'm ever willing to get on board with. A lot of this stuff makes no sense. Like people in my family, police officers, I'm gonna need to call the police.
Yeah.
Right? Things happen. But also, police need to be reformed. I don't want to ever see a Derek Chauvin running the streets or arresting anyone again. Somebody
put him
who's
in prison.
Right, he's in prison. That's people.
I guess
wanna
he's
root-
getting released too. There's no place to put him.
No, they want to. I think that the
Where does
idea
he
is
go?
to reform and root these people out. When I said abolish the police, and that was the
Right.
conversation that was happening.
Who would
after George
Zoran
Floyd
send
was
to arrest
murdered.
Netanyahu? A
Let me
social
finish.
worker?
After that's a funny one. After George Floyd was murdered, the conversation about abolish the police, I thought was a larger conversation about trying to actually figure out police that know how to community police.
I thought it was a
understand the
conversation
community.
about abolishing the police.
No, I thought that people were trying to explain it, that were leaders of the Democratic Party at the time, about what they meant, and I agree with those stances. Now, Democratic Socialists saying they don't want absolutely any police, they don't want any borders, and her answers to these questions were absurd because I don't know how society runs itself with none of the above. I think in the best society, and what I came to understand from Democratic Socialists, because I don't think that they are communist, this leadership saying that she wants government to own everything, that's communist.
That is communist.
Right? I think that Democratic Socialists and what Mamdani is implementing work alongside capitalism for optimal results for everybody.
But that's not in the. That's just not what democratic socialism calls
She
for.
said- exactly,
In the
she's saying
bylaws,
this,
it
so I
calls
don't-
for the overthrow of capitalism,
Well, when
the
I look at-
elimination of
When
it.
I look at the Republican Party and you look at folks within the party that literally want every single migrant out of the country, right? Those are more extreme people in the party. And then you think about what President Trump is actually trying to accomplish by, yes, he did put ICE on American streets. Yes, it went left and a lot of people criticized him for it. But the goal was to bring our border back to organized, bring ICE into our country to make sure that we can get a hold on immigration, things that people criticize Biden for. But there's still fringe people that want every single person out. No one working, no farm workers, no corporate workers, no tech workers.
I mean,
And so
I
that's
don't
what
know how
mean.
fringe that is. It's not. That's certainly not my
But
view.
those people
I don't know that
exist-
it's fringe.
But those people exist, though, is what I'm trying to say. So
Yeah, I
there's
think they
those
exist in
people
large
also-
numbers.
Those people also exist in Democratic Socialists. They want no anything. That's not going to ever fly. We're not going to have no police.
I
We're
think
gonna- and so those
deport
conversations
every
are
illegal
equally as
immigrant
dramatic.
will polls dramatically better
not,
than
because asking
nationalize every
No,
large
it's not,
company.
because the people saying that farmers have complained about the fact that migrants are scared to come work. You know that when the factories were getting raided in California, there were multiple complaints. I mean, this affects people on a variety of levels.
Well,
and so
I agree with you,
I don't think
but
the large
I-
majority of people are going to say get every migrant out of here. I mean, we can look
think
at
they
polls.
do.
I don't think
polls
so.
basically do show that, but
No, because when we saw
I don't agree with it.
when
But
we
I
saw
think polls do show that.
car chases happen of migrants and teachers get killed in Georgia, when we
Nobody
saw,
likes how it's done,
right,
but
so
they
people don't
want
to
them
see it.
gone.
No, people want criminals gone, and not the criminal because you cross the border. They want people who commit criminal acts in America to be gone. That's what everyone agreed upon. And when you see
People
polling,
want them
the
gone, but
numbers
they
are
don't want
high
it done
for
in
that.
any way that bothers anyone else or infringes on anyone else's rights, and there's no way to accomplish that, and it's not
Okay, and just they want to abolish the police, but they also want to be protected, so there's no way to arrest
Right,
them.
exactly.
That's what I mean. So
Yeah.
those people exist in both parties.
Yeah.
And maybe they're not fringe. Maybe there's a lot of them. Like we see Democratic Socialists getting a bunch of momentum, but at the end of the day, with a few of those people in Congress and a few people that
I don't think there's any constituency for nationalize all the companies.
right.
But just
But if you
wholesale
balance that-
transfer
how
to
does
the
the government
government's
work? If you
ownership.
balance those extreme ideas with what actually can get implemented when you have a Congress that's usually pretty divided and split, well, you're not going to own every single company.
Right, that's why they want to get rid of the Congress. That's an object.
I hated that
And the
too.
court
I hated
and the Supreme Court because
I don't want to see that
we
too.
got to get rid of them
I
because
believe
they.
in our institutions, and I feel like they've done a great job.
Yeah,
And,
I'm in favor of like reforming some of our institutions, but I would like getting rid of the. I mean, even from like a progressive standpoint, the Supreme Court has been a check on the excesses of the Trump administration.
I don't agree
So
with the
it's
Democratic
just-
Socialist agenda, the way that she phrased it, but I do agree with what Mom Donnie's doing in New York. And so to me, those are two different things. I don't know what Mom Donnie would have to say about this. I'd love to hear what he had to say about this.
Every word of it, if he can. He believes it. It's in his heart. He loves it.
I'm saying it's in his heart. Like you don't.
I know,
you don't know,
but
you don't know this person
I
at
can
all.
Tell. I can tell. You know it too, viewers.
All right, just 17 days after Graham Plattner dropped out of the Maine Senate race, another Democrat has taken his place on the ballot. What is this, the Democrat bashing show?
Yes.
Stay with us.